This is a jigsaw. Jigsaws are used for internal and external cuts, for cutting curves, straight cuts, bevel cuts, cutting irregular shapes. They have a variety of different blades. I've just got a few here. They're used for cutting wood, aluminium, steel, plastics, manufactured boards such as plywood and medium density fiberboard or MDF. So different lengths, different widths, different teeth profiles for cutting different materials. And there's many more available in the hardware store. So I need to change the blade in this. I'm only cutting some thin board, so I just need a short blade. Make sure we disconnect it from the power. Putting in a shorter, finer tooth blade for cutting hardboard. Make sure you put your blade in the right way around, teeth facing forward, not backward. Alright, we do some maintenance checks. So our blade's okay, it's sharp, it's tight. Check the base plate is tight. So our base plate can rotate to different angles both ways for cutting bevels. Check our switch works correctly, everything's intact. It's got some lubrication points on here, so we've got a guide roller here. Make sure that's always well lubricated. And the shaft here. Make sure that's lubricated. All moving parts need to be lubricated. Make sure all our vents are clear. The body of the tool is okay. Our switch works. Our switch lock works. Righto, we're ready to go. So make sure your material is secure. Make sure what is underneath. Your blade's going to stick out. Be aware of where your body parts are, where the cable is. Make sure it's all out of the way. You don't want to have your finger under here while you're cutting through. We've positioned the base plate, needs to be positioned firmly onto the material. If you don't hold firm pressure down, you'll get a vibration like this. Now, just be aware it cuts on the upward stroke and the teeth face up. So if you want a nice face on your wood, if you can, lay the face piece of your wood down. Otherwise, the wood can splinter like this as the blade comes up. The wood splinters. So whichever side you want for your face side, it's preferable to lay it down. Another way to do it is run some tape along your line of cut, or get another piece of wood, a sacrificial piece of wood, and clamp it across the face that you want to keep nice, and that can prevent splintering on the face that you want. So before cutting, you need to allow the blade to reach full speed, apply light pressure, guide the blade along the line of cut. Don't force the blade, let it do the cutting. If you force it, it applies unnecessary pressure to the whole machine, which can cause premature wear out, not just of your blade, but of the electric motor and the drivetrain in there. When you get near the end of your cut, back off the pressure a bit so you can maintain control as you exit the cut. So when removing the blade from the cut, allow it to stop. If you don't, as you come out, the blade can hit and bend and damage your material. So I'm going to wear a dust mask, especially when you're cutting man-made boards. The dust is very fine and the resins and dust are toxic. Safety glasses and earmuffs. So before you plug into the power, make sure that your switch is off so it doesn't accidentally start up. So you don't want it locked in. Make sure that's correct. Righto, so I'll just cut a curve, make sure the power cord is out of the way, got no fingers in the way, base plate's hard onto the surface, and I'll start it, let it reach full speed and then cut. Let it stop, then remove it. So I've just been able to cut a curve. Now if I want to do an internal cut, there's a couple of ways to do that. So if I wanted to cut out a circle, there's two techniques for starting the cut. So this one, hold the point of the base plate down, start the blade off and then lower it in and let it cut. So I'll start in the center of the circle. So that's one technique for starting a cut. The next one is drill a hole that's big enough for the blade to fit through. Insert the blade, don't have it up against the wood when you start. So that's the jigsaw. When you're cutting out irregular shapes, you might have to have a few different cuts, like especially to cut out a circle. You might have to have a few goes to cut the room out to be able to cut around your curve. So that's the basics of using the jigsaw.